Hello. For the past 3 weeks, I've been making daily weather reports in the morning. This is an explanation as to why, if you're interested. I'm currently in grad school, studying mathematics, and about 3 weeks ago, a little bit more, I passed a major exam. Well, I believe I passed. I certainly took a major exam called a prelim. And this was the last prelim I would need to take, if I pass, before I can start my doctoral research. For about a month prior to the prelim, it was my only concern, and I studied for it almost every day, and felt great angst about it every day. But about 3 weeks ago, I took the test. I believe I did well, and concerns that I had that were pushed aside by the concrete problem that was the prelim, more abstract concerns that I ignored for that time, have reemerged shortly thereafter. For grad school, the general process is you pass several preliminary exams, and then you begin your doctoral research with an advisor of some sort. And by a series of terribly unfortunate chances, the number of professors in my research area at my college has decreased dramatically in the time that I have been here, and many people, including myself, have found themselves without advisors or having to find new advisors or unable to find an advisor because of the number of people in our studies that have now required new advisors. This has been a difficult process for both the department and the student body, and while many steps have been taken by many different people in order to help alleviate this problem, it has still been very stressful for me to deal with over the course of this past year. I still do not have an advisor, and whether or not I will receive one here at Auburn is, to my mind, very much in doubt. And I have felt this way and felt concern about it for some time, and often when I feel very concerned and stressed and afraid about abstract problems which do not have clear answers and sometimes deeply aggravating components, such as the lack of advisors and my own concerns about that in my own future, what I will often do is just watch YouTube or play video games more or less aimlessly because they are cognitively cheap ways of ignoring my problems for the time being. And while I was in a sort of funk in this way, I watched a fantastic documentary recently about the life and art of Dennis Hopper, and also several interviews with noted American surrealist director David Lynch. And I found their attitude and their approach to their art fascinating and admirable, with some disregard for the rest of their life's general activities. God bless Dennis Hopper. I could not drink like the man. I have long had artistic aspirations that have been brushed aside and deprioritized throughout my high school, undergraduate, and graduate career in academics due to the time they require, the effort that I put into my studies, and just general lethargy. after a day of work, oftentimes, as well as some of my own minor insecurities about my ability to make interesting or worthwhile art. But now I am feeling very frustrated, very unsure of my place here at grad school, very unsure on if I want to pursue mathematics in this way or in this time or at all, and whether or not perhaps I should have done something else with my life. And I feel the need to do something with these feelings, or do something to ignore those feelings, but in some sort of productive manner. And when I have that feeling, often what I do is I turn back to more conventionally creative pursuits. I view the mathematics I do as an art and as my art first and foremost, but it is fundamentally a form most people are unable and frequently unwilling to understand. And therefore, when I say art, I often end up meaning having to do more conventionally creative things that people can parse in an easier way, in a way that they are more adjusted to than mathematics, which I believe can be equally creative and beautiful, but often has a sort of overhead to understanding it. All artists, creators, people who make things start with imitation, practice of fundamental techniques, and to get used to the act of making things, which can often be psychologically daunting. In mathematics, I've had to do countless proofs to practice various proof techniques and demonstrate mastery over various concepts and demonstrate understanding of different ways we prove things and properties of objects that we may prove things about. And so I decided to start trying to make creative things again. I wanted to imitate something. Throughout the peak chaos of the COVID-19 outbreak in 2020 and its long wake afterwards, David Lynch recorded on a daily basis a weather report from his home in Los Angeles. And with every report, he would sign off as being hopeful for beautiful blue skies and golden sunshine. And what I wanted to do after watching some of those, Monday, September 10th, 2023, while in a bit of a funk, was to try and imitate that and try and make weather reports of my own every day in the morning in order to regain practice making things and shooting videos and appearing on camera and editing videos and publishing them for a public eye to consume. I have enjoyed the process thus far and plan to continue it into the future, but I also plan to try and engage in other conventionally creative endeavors, and the purpose of the weather reports was to practice and prepare for that moving forward. That is why I make the weather reports. Have a good day.